Where did they go? I saw them enter this area, I'm sure of it. It was you, huh? What? How? How did you discover me? My stealth abilities are the height of perfection. You're just like I remember you, still way too sure of yourself. Who might he be? Well, he's technically part of Ouroboros. He's about as low-ranking a member as you can get, though. Ah, I see. He does look the part. How dare you? I'll have you know I'm very much on the up. And as for you, what do you mean he does look the part? You couldn't look more like a nobody if you tried. You're the kind of person who constantly throws himself into things too big to handle and ends up sabotaging himself without anyone lifting a finger. And you refuse to learn from any of your failures, too. What? You haven't lost your touch. I'm impressed how accurately you were able to judge his character after talking to him for, like, a second. I didn't even need to talk to him. He oozes irrelevance from his every pore. You... cocky, aren't you? Well, let's see how long that cockiness lasts. Well, that didn't last long. A Templar sword? So that's what you picked, huh? Just like you chose a bowgun as your weapon of choice, I chose a Templar sword for mine. That's all there is to it. Gotcha. Impossible. What did you just do? I don't even know how I got hit. It's a weapon used by the Graalsritter called a Templar sword. The blade's made up of multiple pieces held together by wires that let the user extend it at will. Anyway, it's time those lips started flapping. What's a wanted criminal like you doing here in Grand Cell? How much of our business do you know? Why should I have to answer your... Yeet! You don't know when to give up. Start talking, now. FYI, she's not in a good mood. And, you don't want to make her any madder. It looks like I've only got one option. I'm so sorry, forgive me! I'm only here because I crash-landed. I didn't even want to come here. And after I did, I happened to see you two, so I decided to follow you. I swear! Maybe I misjudged him. There might be more to him than meets the eye, in a sense. That's a nice way of putting it. So go on, keep talking. You said you crash-landed here. That means there's an Ouroboros airship somewhere near here that you came on, right? No, there isn't. I did crash-land, but it wasn't on board an airship. It was on board this! What the? He has an archaism? Not so irrelevant now, am I? Show them what you can do, G Apache. Mow them down! So yeah, after all that heap of dialogue, we now have our first, like, real fight of the main game against Gilbert, the member of Ouroboros with the most growth potential, he says. And his archaism, the G Apache, it has different colors to how it did in Sky SC, but that's basically about it. So, right, for this we still have the same items we had from the prologue, so not having the extra EP charges might be a problem. But, okay, so you may want to attempt to... he's gonna go first. He does have a somewhat dangerous attack where he can freeze you, and if he uses that at the very beginning, that could actually be really problematic. So, just in case, I'm gonna Grail Sphere. And I'll go over Reese in more detail later, but this thing here, Holy Blessing, is absolutely amazing. Use it whenever you have enough CP for it. For now, though, she doesn't have Clock RPX, that's a problem. Yeah, she really just has physical attacks at the moment. Kinda want to get out of direct line with the Apache. Yeah, here we go, Condensed Ice Pulverization Blast. This is what I was worried about. And judging by the way he reacts to that, that might actually be a one-use only kind of deal. Okay, so the G Apache is using an attack there. I can just walk out of the way of that. Kevin's gonna get hit though. Actually, he's definitely gonna get hit. Because Gilbert threw a grenade that, that just, like, yeah, smacked us in the face and didn't detonate. Because Gilbert. Do have a defense down on Kevin though, which is actually really annoying. Right, I'm gonna go straight for clock down on them. Debuffing the enemy's speed where you can is always good because it means that they get less turns against you. Reese hits somewhat hard physically. Oh great, that's a delay attack. Delay is incredibly annoying because it basically slows down your next turn. Oh, that thing's getting a strength up turn, which is bad, but let's see if I'm not sure if I really need to bother with using Clock Up EX here. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but we'll see. For now, I'm just gonna Blue Impact. The Apache's slower than Gilbert. I don't know which one I should take down first. I guess I'll go for Gilbert himself. Oh, I was hoping it wouldn't do Bullet Barrage. At least it's not doing a ton of damage. That was with a 10% strength turn too. Okay, yeah, I can probably wear down Gilbert pretty quickly. Now, I'm going to try, because I think I read somewhere that Earth Lance actually does slightly more damage than Blue Impact. Okay, took a bit of a hit there. Still didn't have enough CP ready for Reese's Holy Blessing. Yeah, that definitely did more. That's pretty cool. I do have Arc Fencer, though. It's a line AoE attack that also can delay enemy, like, attacks that have charge time, like Arts and Crafts. But, okay, maybe I'm just gonna whack Gilbert in the face. Because every day is the day to whack Gilbert in the face. That's just how he does things. In fact, speaking of whacking Gilbert in the face, he should be down from this. Unfortunately, that means we don't get to see him use his amazing debuffing attack, where he debuffs you by virtue of being so pathetic that you lose the will to hurt him. That's actually canonically how that move works. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna keep smacking away with Reese here. It's still speed debuffed, so yeah, I'm just gonna hammer it with arts. Yeah, we're getting way more turns than it. It does have a lot of HP to eat through. I would kind of rather Reese get the 50%, not 50%, 50 CP heal turn, but it doesn't look like I can actually even get that with her, so that's a shame. She does, however, have enough CP for Holy Blessing. You'll be seeing this a lot throughout the course of this game. This is one of the best crafts in the game, in my opinion. 50% healing, unlimited range, it's a revival too if someone's down, and best of all, 50 CP recovery, which is absolutely ridiculous. The only downside is that it can't target Reese herself, and that can be a significant problem. But as long as Reese has enough CP to make use of, she doesn't have any, nah, she doesn't have any strength buffs, that's a shame. And Kevin doesn't either. He only has a couple more Earth Lances in him, though. Okay, there goes critical mode. Strength and arts defense up. Okay, so this means that we need to focus a little bit more on using Reese and her physical damage here. And, of course, she immediately misses. Right. Arts defense is up. Let me go ahead and use my physical attacks on it now. Thankfully, Kevin's debuff wore off in terms of defense. Now, when it gets a little lower, I might be able to show off a Chaincraft. Chaincrafts can be powerful, but they're also quite risky in this game because they delay your next turn a lot more than they did in Sky SC. A full-party Chaincraft has much more delay than even S-Crafts do. It looks like that's uncancelable. However, I can just walk away from it. That's where it being speed debuff is good. In fact, its speed debuff is wore off, though. But it's almost down, so we should be able to finish this thing off quickly. Well, let's go for Mortal Punishment. don't know if this will finish it. Well, that definitely won't finish it. And there it goes.
My thanks to thee.
So it sounds like Reese is Michelle Ruff. And if that's true, I agree with that casting decision, it fits. Yeah, it didn't even self-destruct. No! Curse you! Do you have any idea how much I had to go through to earn that? You really are full of surprises, aren't you? I'm impressed, Reese. You sure know how to get the best out of that thing. Not at all. I've still got a lot to learn. Especially if I want to be half as good as my sister. Heh. Still, I'm no different. Kevin, Anyway. I'd wedge you out of tricks now, so are you ready to give up and come quietly? If you don't try and cause any more trouble, I'll hand you over to the soldiers here and leave it at that. You're planning to hand me over to the Royal Army? That's your best option. If you really want us to take you back to Arteria instead, that's cool by me. But if you go with that one, I can't guarantee your safety. I'll leave that one to you. Again? What was that? This thing again. It starts glowing so randomly. Maybe it's reacting to something? What is that thing? What are you planning on doing? Nothing to you, don't worry. Shut up for a sec. What is up with this thing? So, the time to begin is finally upon us. Huh? What? When did you... It's a pleasure to see you again, Kevin Graham. Traverser of the pathless darkness, repenting of his transgressions with the sign of a stigma forever on his back. Who the hell are you? What? Ugh. Kevin! Thus my lord was revived and the door to Gehenna opened. Come forth, offerings, burn to ashes in the ever-blazing flames. What happened? Why did I... Where am I? Hey, Reese! Reese, are you okay? Ugh, what's going on? Kevin? Where are we? Phew, I'm glad you're okay. How are you feeling? Any pain? I feel sick. You do? My stomach's gonna implode if it doesn't get any food soon. I'm starting on all that food we bought. Ugh, sure, I'd normally be just as down for food as you are, but come on! Is that really what you should be thinking about right now? There's nothing in this world more important or fundamental than eating. But if we must change the subject, I remember a strange man appearing, then that cube glowing white all of a sudden, then... Yeah, I don't remember any more than that either, but take a look around us. Stone bookcases? Are we inside some kind of ruin? No, wait. What? Yeah. So much for this being an easy assignment. Ignorant cults? The kin of Vergana? The Cosmographica? Oh, here's the Azure Fragments. That's been localized finally. Whoever manages this library must have some out-of-this-world connections to have gathered this many rare books from all over the place. Whoa, is this a copy of Isthmian Tales? What's a banned book doing here? The guys over at the Congregation for the Sacraments would flip their lid if they saw this thing. And there aren't just old and rare books either. I found one that was published this year. No way! What's it called? It's called Liberlian Cuisine, published by the Liberl News Service. That can't be real. What's that doing here mixed in with all the other stuff? You sure you aren't pulling my leg? Your guess is as good as mine. The photographs of food in it look delicious, however. I wonder if our friend Dorothy is responsible for that. Oh, I bet they do. There's this girl named Dorothy who works for the LNS, and she's one incredible photographer. Oh yeah, don't know how I forgot, but weren't you hungry? I was, but I finished eating while you were busy looking at the books here. I did save some for you, of course. And yeah, we get an actual food item out of this. How fast did you eat? Wait, we bought that poor store's entire bread supply and this is all that's left? They were perfectly baked too. Their flour used was clearly of high quality. But bread like that can't be made without excellent water either. I think I like Liberl. Well, I can't deny the country's got some great grub to try all around. Let's get off the subject of food already. I know, there's something truly odd about this place. We should have a thorough look around. Yeah. Oh, come to think of it. It's completely stopped glowing now. Might as well be inactive again. I doubt it was a coincidence that it started glowing just before we were sent here. This is no ordinary artifact, that's for sure. Give it to me, Kevin. I'll look after it. Huh? Why? Protecting you is my duty as your squire. As such, I can hardly stand by and let you keep something that poses such danger on your person. I should be the one to keep it. Wait a minute, Reese. Give it to me. Look. First, we still don't have any conclusive proof that this cube is the reason we ended up here. Second, despite me being the one who had it up till this point, you're here with me anyway. So unless you plan to take it off me and run as far away from me as possible, who's holding it won't make a damn bit of difference. But still, sorry, but this time I'm actually ordering you. You wouldn't disobey an order from your superior, would you? Alright then, but if we find out for sure that it really is dangerous, promise me you'll get rid of it. That's all I want you to agree to. Alright, promise. Anyway, you up for some exploring? I don't know what's up with this place, but it's time to try and find out. Fine by me. Welcome to wherever the heck this place is. We can bring up our map with, well, I've mapped it to the L2 button for me, but it's called the Hermit's Garden, apparently. Apparently, Dorothy's books are considered rare and valuable, which is even more evidence that she's probably the Grandmaster. There's nothing for us around that corner, so let's head straight across this bridge. You can also rotate the camera if we want to, but the camera is a little bit weird in terms of where it stops in this place. Huh? What's that? Well, this is foreboding. Doesn't look to be a relic of the ancient Sumerian civilization, though. I agree. As far as I can tell, it's not any kind of device, simply a stone monument. Oh, there's something written near the bottom. Huh, so there is. Let's see. The Hermit's Garden. What is this supposed to mean? I'm not sure. Could be a message, or maybe even... Actually, let me look it over some more before I say anything. Nope, can't find any hidden switches or the like anywhere. You were right, it really is just a stone monument. Shall we try destroying it and see if anything happens then? I get first hit! Wait, no! No way! Just because we've established this is any kind of device doesn't mean nothing bad will happen if we go smashing it to bits. Don't worry, I was just joking. You so weren't. Anyway, let's save extreme options like that until we've explored all of our, more reasonable ones. I would say we should go and look around somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, she clearly was looking forward to smashing this thing. But, personally, I'd like to go this direction first. Because if we come up here, there's a glowing spot on the ground. What's this? I'm not sure. I'll take a closer look. Solar Seal, Lunar Seal, and a whole bunch of Seepith. This is actually our carryover bonus from our SC save file. Don't think anyone will complain if we take it. Don't tell me you're feeling disappointed it wasn't food. You're incredible. I didn't know you knew how to read people's minds with your thaumaturgy. Was that part of your Dominion training? Sure wasn't. All I needed was to know you. I mean, being insightful is its own skill. But about those things, I'll explain them once we get a little bit further. Well, this is nice. Looks like some kind of rest area or something. But why? What's it doing here? Well, resting is important. I'd love to sit and enjoy a relaxing lunch here. Well, I'll give you that it might be kind of nice. Although personally, my first thought was that I'd love to sit and fish here, if there are any fish to be fished. Really? I didn't know you still liked fishing. Sure, can't say I've gotten any better at it, but a hobby's a hobby. I was surprised at how many fishing fanatics there are over in LaBelle. There's a guild in Gransdale that's really hardcore into it, and one girl I ran into who would give most pros a run for their money. Oh. Something wrong? It's nothing. Regardless, it's a shame there are no fish in it. The water here is exceptionally clear. I think this could suffice as a water source for us, at least. Yeah. Alright, let's go check somewhere else. All Trails protagonists have to like fishing, it seems. So, nothing for us to do there right now, so let's head on over to the other side of the Hermit's Garden, apparently. Down this branch. We have a very large tree. What's a huge tree doing here? There's no sign of any others in the surrounding area either. As big as it is, it doesn't seem to be a fruit tree, unfortunately. Heh, figures we wouldn't get that lucky. Come to think of it though, you were always an expert on plants and medicinal herbs and stuff, right? You don't recognize what kind of tree this is? I wish I did, but no. At the very least, it isn't one that grows on the western side of the continent. Did you work something out? Maybe, maybe not. We should try looking somewhere else now. Oh, right. Still, even if it doesn't bear fruit, maybe it has sweet sap inside like maple trees. May I cut into the trunk a bit to see? No, you cannot. Reese is very impatient and wants to attack things with her Templar sword. There is also a secondary area with a bit of a library here too, as well as this isolated little pedestal, but nothing much for us there now. We've explored pretty much everywhere we can, so time to head back to that original stone monument we found. And go straight past it for nothing. Oh, as far out as the eye can see. Just where are we? Beats me. Still, wherever we are, it's big. Judging by how our voices don't echo, anyway. Yeah. So, we're in a place that has crystal clear water that's drinkable, a tree that we can't find anywhere on the continent that we know of, and vast space that stretches out as far as the eye can see, and a whole bunch of books that are rare. See, after you've explored everywhere, you just need to go out of the central area and back in again. Well, we've investigated the whole area now, but we didn't find anything that would give us any idea as to where we are. Maybe not specifically. I think I may have an idea of what kind of place this is, though. Really? It's a place both within Liberl and not at the same time. Like a separate dimension of sorts. Can you elaborate? Well, you see, during all the trouble with the Aureole... So, yeah, those dungeons back from SC where we fought the Enforcers for the first time. That's kind of what we're dealing with here. Wow, so you think the place we're in may be similar? I can't say for sure, but it's definitely a possibility. There are a few cracks in my theory, unfortunately. Oh, I think I understand what you mean. The Liberlian cuisine book we found earlier is one, right? Exactly. If we assume this is some kind of enclosed space sealed away with the Aureole all those years ago, how did a book that was only published this year get in here? All the other unusual books are from after the Great Collapse, too. Which means... someone else has been going in and out of here within the past year? Could it be that man in black we met at the port? Maybe, maybe not. I wouldn't peg him as the kind of guy who'd want to read it about Liberlian cuisine, though. That's very true. Either way, I think we can say for sure now this situation is wherein it was planned out by someone, possibly before that cube even came into our possession. You really think so? But if that really is the case, what should we do now? There's the million mirror question. We don't have much to work with here, just a big open area with no way out. Oh, this again? That sounded like something broke. Yeah, but what? Crap. Oh no. Well, I wasn't entirely right about saying there's no bag of spilling in this game. Mine is the same way. Ugh, even my spare quartz are ruined. Just what is going on here? What? You sure that's not a regular stone monument anymore? What just happened? I don't know. I'd wager it was this cube's doing. Guess we can add altering this area to its list of quirks along with wrecking out quartz. Are you sure it's a good idea to keep it on you? Honestly, I get the feeling we'd be... Okay, yes, when I'm going to be reading out the dialogue, I actually will be reading out the swearing, so even though I don't normally swear in videos, I'm going to be doing it because the game does, so yeah. Honestly, I get the feeling we'd be shit out of luck without it. At least now we've got some new stuff to investigate that could lead us in the right direction. We should go and check all the places that have changed. Alright. And we salvaged a bunch of Seepeth from the broken quartz at least, but we have a lot more thanks to our save transfer. So now begins the real investigation into exactly what this place is. I could understand it for an artifact or an augment, but how did a lump of stone start glowing like this? It's like magic. Now there's an apt description if I've ever heard one. Only thing I can add to that is the laws of the world as we know them don't seem to apply to it. Raise. Huh? That was a voice, wasn't it? Raise the cube before the monuments. Who's there? Who are you? Please. Well, it asked nicely. What are we going to do? Ugh. To hell with it, not like we've got any better options. Visitors from afar. This again. This voice is different though. Welcome. In accordance with my master's wishes, I shall grant you power. Huh? Name your currency, so that we may transact within the system that you know. Wait a second. What do you mean by currency? Maybe it's gonna sell us things in exchange for mirror? Oh, I getcha. Understood. Then I shall grant you power in exchange for that currency. I mean, it's a good thing we didn't say, like, human blood or something like that by accident, but yeah, this is a shop. This is how we'll be doing our shopping to prepare ourselves for battle. We can also heal ourselves. And we can also buy weapons. These are a bit of an upgrade over what we currently have, but we don't have any mirror right now. As well as armor, tools, which are at the moment just items. Reviving balms are actually quite expensive at this point, so you might want to be a bit careful in battle. We can also convert Seepeth into money. I wouldn't recommend doing that just yet, though. And Synthesize Quartz. We will need to do this since we lost all of our quartz before, so we can synthesize any element of quartz, although our quartz selections are pretty limited right now. Also, our augment slots are currently only level 2 in everything, and Reese's are even worse. Opening up augment slots costs Seepeth and gives you more EP, but also gives you access to higher level quartz. Now, right now, there isn't a whole lot of reason to upgrade our slots because we don't have any level 2 or higher quartz available to us, but we will very quickly be getting more of those. I will say that it's important to upgrade all your slots to level 3 in Sky the Third, because this game has some very, very strong quartz that are level 3. Even your non-casters will want to have level 3 slots in this game. But again, like I said, not really a whole lot of reason to do that now unless you want the extra EP. Later in the game, you'll get plenty of Seepeth that you can use to upgrade all of your slots very quickly. So, like, don't worry too much about keeping your slots upgraded throughout the whole game, I'll just say. Apparently in the PSP or in the PS Vita version, I think Evolution, you all start with level 1 slots in your augments too. But anyway, as is generally the case in this series, I would recommend getting speed boosting quartz as soon as possible. I've got enough for 2 of each of those, as well as... Okay, I can get one of those. Some Mirage Quartz costs time and space as well, so I'm going to be getting EP1, get enough of those to cover both of us. I suppose I can grab Hit 1. You want to get some Mirage Quartz early. That's going to be important quite soon. As for Space Quartz, oh, I can afford an EP Cut 1. Actually, one for both of us. EP Cut Quartz are very, very useful for, you know, cutting down the EP of your arts. Now, as for the other things, I would actually recommend investing a bit in Fire Quartz in the third, because Fire actually is good for both physical attackers and casters. There are a lot of very strong Fire arts in this game. But Water has Mind, that's also good for your casters. HP is good for everyone, so I'm going to grab a couple of those. Earth Quartz, you want those because Earthguard and Earthwall are ridiculous, and you'll want to get access to those as soon as you can. Wind, I don't really find Wind Quartz to be particularly amazing in this game. I don't like Shield because it lowers your ATS or your magic attack. Evade's alright, I guess, and Impede is a little bit unreliable because, Reese has a cancelling craft already from the beginning, so I'm gonna get 2 of those for the time being. And I think that should be all. So, like, naturally you'll have access to much less quartz right now if you didn't do a file transfer, but, it's not like the end of the world if you didn't. Release my brethren, then we shall grant you good fortune. What do you think that was about? How would I know? Bizarre as it is to say, we should be able to buy things for Mirror and use Sepith to synthesize quartz here. It might be Sepith, I'm not sure. Pretty useful, if nothing else. We do still have the Sepith that was left over when our quartz were shattered. Perhaps we should use those to synthesize some new ones. Way ahead of you, Reese. Sounds like a plan to me. We can stand on our own 2 feet just fine, but we're gonna need recovery arts if we ever find ourselves in a jam. Okay, let's check out this side next. There's nothing new for us where we picked up the transfer bonus, but there is something new for us at the spring. The bottom of the water's glowing? It's beautiful. Welcome, visitors from afar. Again? That sounded like it came from the spring. Visitors from afar, quench your thirst. In accordance with my master's wishes, I shall grant you vitality. Not suspicious at all. Let's drink. So, bear in mind, the spring does not heal you. It only restores your CP. When my radiance is restored, I shall grant you vitality once more. When you have fought several battles, return to me. And this spring refreshes itself after a certain number of battles. I've never had water that actually energized me like that before. How is this even possible? I don't know, but I feel full of life as well. It looks like the water here only has that effect when it's shining, though. Yeah. Well, with all the energy we've got now, I don't think there's much more we can get from here. We should check back again later if we're ever feeling tired. Right. So yes, always check the spring when you can. Something to note though is that, this is going to be spoiling things, but of course we will get more party members later. The spring only restores CP of your currently active party. So make sure whoever you want to have, their full CP are in your party when you drink from the spring. Of course, right now it doesn't matter because we only have Kevin and Reese. And now the tree. Holy Stragers! Wow, taking after Estelle there. Now this is something. It really is. It's as if petals of pure light are floating through the air around us. I welcome you, dear guests. Was that... Did the tree just talk to us? In accordance with my master's wishes, I shall grant you the blessings of the earth. However, my power is not without its limits. I require compensation in exchange for its use. And that compensation is money. The tree, much to Reese's eternal delight, lets us buy ingredients. Basically any ingredient that is not available from monsters, that is not obtained specifically from monsters, I should say, is buyable here. Some are more expensive than others, but I would recommend stocking up on ingredients wherever you can, because as is typical of the Sky games, food is usually much better in terms of its effects than just basic healing items are. So you'll want to be using as much food as possible. In particular, the acerbic tomato is used for a lot of very, very strong recipes that restore CP. It's no coincidence, though, that it's the most expensive ingredient here. So when you have the money, definitely buy a few tomatoes, but you may not always have that kind of money. For now, though, we don't quite have no recipes. I'll talk about that in a moment. When my master's power returns, the variety of blessings I offer shall increase. May the blessings of the earth be upon you. Haha, man. If someone told me a tree just chatted them up and offered to sell them ingredients, I'd tell them they'd had one too many drinks. Reese? Something up? That great tree took root near a 7-colored spring, and there it granted blessings and joy. An excerpt from the book of Genesis, verse 7, the primal grounds. Oh, hallowed Adios, Thank you for the divine protection and mercy you have bestowed upon us. Well, aren't you just tickled pink? I'm not sure this tree has anything to do with the goddess, though. I disagree. Even the testaments of the goddess say that all roads lead to food. Food is the fundamental basis of everything. That's not in any testament I've ever laid eyes on. That said, let me give you this. Huh? Why are you giving this to me? Because you're remarkably impious for a knight of the church. You should work on becoming more devout through cooking in her name. That doesn't even make sense. Besides, can't you just do the cooking yourself? But you've always been better at it than me. I'm sure it's the wish of the ingredients to be used by the best chef possible. But still... Please? Ugh. I'm too soft for my own good sometimes. Well, fine, but you have to help me, deal? Also, the second I catch you snacking on something while we're making it, I'm done. I know. So with that, we have access to the recipe book, which I have mapped to the options button on my controller. And with this, we can make the one thing that she gave us, the egg salad sandwich. So like, as you can see, this restores 1,500 HP for the cost of its ingredients. I'm almost sure is cheaper than the cost of a healing item that heals that amount. So you want to be cooking as much as you can, and also there are a lot of recipes to collect. Whenever you find a new item, a new food item I mean, eat it, because Trail's protagonist's palates are remarkably refined and can instantly understand how to make something just by eating it once. And Kevin is no exception to this rule. So that barrier goes away after you've examined everything in this area. You don't think that could be the exit, do you? If anything, I'd say it's more like an entrance. A monument that sells us items, a tree that sells us ingredients, a spring that restores our vitality. It's like everything in here is designed to help us prepare for something dangerous. Or am I reading into it? No, I don't think you are. So what should we do? Should we try stepping on it? I don't have any better ideas at this point. Although it might be better if you stayed behind here. Never mind, ma'am, we'll go together. It's not like there's any guarantee you'd be safe here, actually. Of course we will. But first, I should give you this. Huh? What are you doing with this? I was asked to give it to you by Commander Selnus. In her words, Kevin's reports lately have been far too vague for my liking. I'll bet he's not even taking notes while he's out on the job. Give him this so he's got no more excuses to slack off. Bah, she figured it out, huh? Hold on, how are you close enough for her to ask you this kind of favor? She was the one who taught me how to use my Templar sword. I respect her deeply. No joke, I had no idea. I bet she kept that from me on purpose. Can't say I'm surprised. If I'd known, I sure as hell wouldn't have let Reese... Kevin? Sorry, just spacing out. Our next destination's that circle, but if you have anything else you want to do first, speak up now. There's no telling what's waiting for us after we step in on. Understood. So we now have access to the Graal's Ritter notebook, which takes the place of the Bracer book from the earlier Sky games. Instead of the Bracer code, we have the 6 principles of the Graal's Ritter code. We have our number of battles and victories listed, as well as our rank and stuff, which I'll just say, spoilers, ranking is not a thing in this game. That will never change over the course of the thing, but here, it basically just contains some explanations for standard gameplay mechanics. If you're new to this series, I would recommend reading this. So for example here, some slots of your augments can only take certain kinds of quartz, depending on the character. It also explains how to use S-crafts and S-breaks, how chain crafts work, and how they multiply power. There's been a bit of a change to how these work in terms of the delay they give you afterwards, as I've hinted at before. Battle order. Now, I recommend looking at this before we start anything else, because Sky the Third has some new turn bonuses, and some of them are quite deadly. Literally. Yes, death blow turns. Direct hits from attacks on death blow turns are one-hit KOs. Vanish, any attack on a vanish turn, makes an enemy disappear, and if that's used on you, you lose all your EP, which is incredibly annoying. Item means that any enemy defeated on an item turn will automatically drop their item, which is good. And Rush gives you an instant second turn, or lets you cast a spell with no cast time, which could be really, really useful, obviously. Guard, though. Oh boy, I hate guard turns. They're one of the few aspects of this game's battle system that I say is outright badly designed, and I'll complain about why they're so bad once we start seeing them for the first time. Thankfully, guard turns I don't believe returned in any later Trails game, but the rest of these bonuses did in some way, shape, or form, so get used to them if you're playing later games in the series. Also, we can check status ailments. Apparently there is a burn status in the Evo remake for PS Vita that is not in this version. That version's not available in English though, so, yeah. Also, cooking parameters, this will explain the stats, but it doesn't go into a huge amount of detail here. I'll talk about the gameplay formulas once I get time, because they're kind of interesting. Cube functions. Now, this is new. Technically speaking, we're not supposed to know a few aspects of this yet, but we're getting a sneak preview here. Okay, don't go to support functions yet, because it's kind of a spoiler. It's not as bad of a spoiler as you might think, but it does talk about a feature that we don't actually have access to for quite a while. Party formation is also a spoiler, so don't go to that one. And side stories, we'll get to that in a moment. But for now, we have explored what is essentially our home base. So, if you didn't get the memo by now, that earlier path that was pretty much all cutscenes, that was kind of a fake out. This is by far the most gameplay-heavy Trails game. It is a dungeon crawler in every extent of the word, and this is our home base. So I'll see you all next time when we head out into our first dungeon delve. I will go over Kevin, Reese, as well as my augment setups before we dive in next time, so I'll see you all then.